Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to the League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League. Today we're at Barcelona for our feature event, followed right away by our 15-minute sprint event. And on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name is James Eastspring, the Action 1080p 60 frames a second. We're going to very quickly go through the grid here before we start. Flo Dom's on pole, Kevin Burrows starting second, James Mullery starting third. You got Terry Crouch starting fourth. Then we've got Raymond Aguilar starting fifth, Jake Potts starting sixth, Jared Ziegler starting seventh, Brad Trenton eighth on the grid. Then we've got Conor Scribner starting ninth. Antonio Bianchi makes his way back out in 10th. We've got Peter Rettinger starting 11th. John Kasai 12th on the circuit. Ryan Tebow starting 13th. Hunter Graves starting 4th. Danilo Sparapani starting 15th. Jeff Murphy 16th. World famous Gareth McAllister starting 17th. Felipe Garcia starting 18th. Dustin Oberlo starting 19th. Chase Small starts 20th. Barrett Polhemus, starting 21st. Felipe Ramos starting 22nd. Levi Obed starting 23rd. Anthony Asianati starting 24th. Matt Foster 25th. Andrew Neri starting 26th. And Ricardo Espino starting 27th. That was a whole lot of talking very quickly. Thank you for bearing with me. We've got Victor Del Porto cheering on Garcia and Sparapani. And we've got Josh Green, the world-famous professional. He's cheering on from Sebring, where I believe he was doing some testing this week. Testing or racing? We'll have to get confirmation on that one. Now, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is a 45-minute maximum race. We got Mari Fernandez saying, "Vamos, Sparapani and Garcia." Good to see the fans from across the world coming out tonight. Good to be back out here with you for the League Zero, guys. One of my favorite leagues to call the action of. The lights get ready to come on. And here we go. Mullery does not get a good start in that number 8 machine. As here comes Aguilar, Burrows, and Crouch, and look at the madness. You've got one driver off track already. We're going to try, I believe that's McAllister. And already, things are getting wild here in League Zero. And Raymond Aguilar able to check out. Terry Crouch running second. He's got James Mullery and Kevin Burrows in very hot pursuit. Oh, there's a lot of talented drivers out here. Terry, stay off my lawn. Crouch, though, has what it takes, as it looked like Aguilar had a big bobble. Now Crouch is caught right back up, and Aguilar goes around. Aguilar finds himself off in the gravel, and now it'll be Terry Crouch out front. Oh my goodness, Kevin Burrows, Jared Ziegler side by side. It's too early, my boys. Take it easy. Kevin Burrows down 2 spots, now running 4th. Jared Ziegler in hot pursuit. The fill-in driver for Norman King, I'm fairly certain, or 57 machine, doing a great job getting back out here. As now we check back in with Crouch, your race leader. This is where he can be extremely lethal. Out front, he's got a clean track ahead of him. A 3/4 second advantage over James Mullery. As we have a lot of drivers taking those off-track excursions early on tonight. As Doms comes down pit road, as well as Neri in the 65 machine. Hopefully those 2 drivers can get back out on track. As Sparapani, no, that's going to be Burrows and Potts battling heavily for the 3rd place spot. Potts in the number 40 machine, Burrows in the number 80. Still with a heated battle. And look at that, Potts looking for any way through he can around Burrows. Burrows not making it easy, but now Potts has the drive on the left-hand side. Jared Ziegler, number 57 machines, watching and waiting to see what these 2 drivers are going to do. He knows how aggressive they've been. He knows he doesn't have to push too hard too early here. As Crouch out front clicks off the fastest lap of the race at 1:35.51. He ran a 10th faster than Mallory that last time by and will only gain ground. But we've seen this time and again here at League Zero. It just takes one little bobble and you can find yourself quickly pointing in the wrong direction. As last week we did have an off week for our drivers and broadcast team alike. So they're coming back out just as slightly cold without the usual back-to-back-to-back seat time they've come to expect. As we're going to go a little bit further back in the field, Kevin Burrows in a battle with Brad Tritt, the number 26 machine, and Conor Scribner in the number 18. And man, look how stacked this battle is here. This is 5th through about 11th place, all tight single file. And Crouch still out front, getting faster and faster. A half-second faster than Mallory that last time by, but here comes Burrows looking at the inside line against Trenton. He has the momentum, but will he lose too much trying to get that corner squared off? It looks like Burrows is going to make that pass nice and clean, and he will work his way up inside the top 5. Circling a little bit further back, we've got the open wheel pro, Antonio Bianchi. He's tracking down Conor Scribner. Bianchi up 2 spots from where he started tonight. As it looks like, though, our current hard charger is going to be Barrett Polhemus. I want to say a newcomer here at League Zero. The number 79 machine proudly sits in 13th, up 8 spots after he qualified 21st. Sometimes these events can be a bit a battle of attrition and just surviving to live to fight another day. We've got something going on. We got Levi Opitz and Flo. No, it's Ramos both involved in an incident. It looks like Ramos has it going a little bit ahead. Well, let's take a look and see what happened to those two. As we're watching Levi Opitz, the number 7 machine. Just too hard on the brake and around he goes. Well done to Ramos for able to hold on to it, and well done to Opitz for having the know-how to keep it pointing the right direction. As we may have broken something here in our broadcast booth, we'll get that corrected very, very quickly. No, we've properly broken something here, ladies and gentlemen. See if we can reload our broadcast software very quickly as Terry Crouch still runs out front with a 1:34.05 his last time by. Not having too many problems. He's been very, very quick. And I think as Crouch runs here at League Zero a little bit more often, he's getting a little bit more used to some of the shenanigans and carnage we've seen, knowing when to pick his battles a little bit closer, not giving himself any risk, needed risk that he really has to. Again, Crouch last time by, he was about 0.6 seconds faster than James Mallory. Now we're going to go back to the battle for 5th. Conor Scribner trying to put some work onto Brad Trenton as we wait for live timing to update once these competitors have made their way around the circuit. As a lot of time it will update as every driver crosses the start-finish line. Still waiting for a few stragglers running about back to 24th, waiting to cross the line here. And Crouch just having a great day, not having any worries to be known. I'm shocked. Crouch really coming into his own. The longer he races here at League Zero, the faster he gets in that number 59 machine. As we're going to go back to another battle, you got Sparapani. He's putting the pressure on Jeff Murphy as they go side by side. Sparapani in the purple number 9, Murphy in the red and white, aptly Canadian colored number 45 machine. And look at this pack. That's Sparapani in 10th, Kasai, Graves, Polimas all up in the fray here, as well as Jared Ziegler. Now Ryan Tebow, he's trying to get in the mix as well, the number 27. And we talk about this each and every week here at League Zero. It doesn't matter where you're out on track, what your skill level is. 9 times out of 10, you can find somebody you can have a heated battle with. And just as we say that, around goes Ziegler as he will wait for the track to clear off to get that number 57 machine fired back up. Hard to tell. I don't think he has too much damage, so hopefully he can keep things going, but that little shake there may be an indicator of some sort of damage on the number 57 machine, who now finds himself down 13 spots. As we check back in the battle for 10th, it's Sparapani, Graves, Kasai. Graves trying to make a move on Kasai. Ooh, you can't get much closer than that. The right side wing of Kasai almost tagging that number 37 of Hunter Graves. And look at that, here comes Polimas in the number 79 machine. He's right on the gearbox of John Kasai. Now it looks like Kasai getting a little bit further away from Barrett in that number 79 machine. While Kasai also running about a second back from Graves. Another second separates Graves from Sparapani. We got something going on. Oh, that's not good. That's Chase Small and Peter Rettinger find themselves in the cheap seats. What happened to those two? Let's take a quick look and see what may have happened to Rettinger. Oh, loops it on his own. And then where does Small come into the picture? Renger tries to get it turned around, and Chase Small with just nowhere to go absolutely slams into Renger. Unfortunately, both their races will be completely done as those cars demolished out here. We got our good friend and no longer birthday boy, Norman King. He's cheering on Jared and Peter. Unfortunately, I think he got here just a little too late for Renger's luck. But Norman King still has his teammate and fill-in driver Jared Ziegler out on track. Ziegler running 15th in number 57 machine after a bit of misfortune as well. But trying to salvage some points, still in a points-paying position. Now we're watching the possible battle for 6th. You've got Conor Scribner, the number 18 machine. He's up 12 spots, and he's being tracked down by the head honcho, Antonio Bianchi. Bianchi, the number 17 machine, he's up 20 spots after a poor showing in qualifying. Bianchi staying right in tow of Scribner. We may see a good battle here if the two drivers don't decide to maybe work together and pull their way up closer to the front at least. They find themselves about 3 seconds back from Brad Tritton in 5th. I don't expect to see too much over-aggressiveness out of these two drivers as they are both in a well points-paying position as well in a good spot for the sprint race where we'll have the inverted 12. Which is always exciting for fans and drivers alike. And we have another battle as well. As look at this, Hunter Graves all in the gearbox as Sparapani backs out of it to avoid missing his mark. As now we're watching Jeff Murphy, Sparapani, and Hunter Graves all battle for 8th. And don't forget about John Kasai, the number 3 machine. He's watching this battle unfold as well. Now what you'll see over the duration of these events is some of the veterans will take it easy, play it safe, and allow the over-aggressive drivers or drivers they may think are over-aggressive crash into each other and make their way through. So that may be what you're seeing Kasai doing. He sees a heated battle in front of him and just wants to play it safe, but Sparapani wants to work his way further up inside the top 10. He's right behind Jeff Murphy's number 45 machine. Murphy down 6 positions from where he started. As we expect the fuel window to open up around that 22 to 23 minute mark for our driver. They'll have about plus or minus 5 minutes depending on what their strategy may be and what the track's looking like ahead of them. But these feature events will be a one-stop race. And generally you will not see drivers taking tires. They will double stint these sessions. Man, look how tight this pack is. We are watching Sparapani, Murphy, Graves, Kasai, and now Polhemus all in the mix, running 8th through 12th. Five drivers, excuse me. Wing to gearbox, racing like it's for the win here at League Zero at Barcelona. Sparapani able to get a decent drive. Oh, there we go. The number 37 machine of Graves locks it up to avoid tagging Murphy. A great save, because if those two would have crashed, that would have collected Polhemus Kasai as well. As we still have, I believe, 20 drivers out on track. About 7 drivers have had to retire early tonight, being involved in a bit of misfortune. As Hunter Graves, what happened there? Did Kasai maybe have an internet blink? Or was it Murphy? I think it was Murphy had a big blink. Where is Murphy? How did Murphy get there? No, it was Murphy with a massive off track. So we're watching the number 45 machine. Oh, snaps loose. And unfortunately finds himself acquainted with the outside wall. Doesn't look like too heavy of damage, but that will be spelling problems for him on the long run. Hopefully he can get down to pit road during that schedule window, get some repairs done, get back out there and salvage his evening. Antonio Bianchi will be the first driver inside the top 10 to come in for fuel on lap 14. And now Sparapani, Graves, and Polhemus are all moving up some spots, inheriting 7th, 8th, and 9th. So looks like things starting to calm down slightly. Sparapani still holding about 6/10 over Graves. Graves about 7/10 over Polhemus. And meanwhile, let's check in on your race leader, Terry Crouch. Not having any problems out front. He holds almost a 7-second advantage over Moleri. And still setting fastest laps of the race as things progress on 1:33.69. And soon he will have traffic to contend with out here at Barcelona. We have something else going on. It looks like Sparapani has a bobble. And now Hunter Graves right in hot pursuit of the number 9 Brazilian driver. Graves trying a couple different lines of high-low maneuver to get the best run out he can, as they'll be side by side, but Sparapani will answer on the inside line. And Graves will sit watching once more to try and set something else up. Graves just waiting for any mistake out of the Brazilian driver he possibly can. Now, while these two are battling, they're not gaining any time to Conor Scribner in 6th, but I gotta say, these guys are putting on a spectacular show. Sparapani defends the inside line like his life depends on it. Graves just looking for a clean way through. Both these drivers have hundreds of laps side by side with each other. They know what they can get away with. They know when they can push and know when to back out slightly. And that's what leads to this great side-by-side as well as nose-to-tail racing. As it looks like Graves lost the pace very slightly, but he's going to stay in the draft of Sparapani. And look at this, Terry Crouch will come down pit road. And we've got more news. Scribner finds himself pointing in the right direction, the same place that Redinger had his misfortune. As now the top 5 drivers all down pit road. Scribner's going to stay out and try and put his head down. As Terry Crouch makes his way out of pit road, Scribner maybe running 2nd now. As Scribner, Sparapani, Graves, the top drivers inside the top 5. That group is running 2nd through 4th as it stands. Have not come down pit road yet. We got James Bishop tune in tonight as well, supporting the broadcast. As we watch Scribner, one of 3 drivers who has yet to come down pit road. He's about 4 seconds back from race leader Terry Crouch. Crouch was in his pit lane time, was about 30 seconds. Drivers only taking enough fuel to make it till the end. About on average of 5-second pit stops, what we're seeing out here tonight at Barcelona. As we're going to check back in with Graves and Sparapani, who just can't get away from each other. I'm wondering if they're going to come down pit road together as well. And yes, they are linked up nose to tail. So now Scribner, Sparapani, and Graves all down pit road. That'll allow Miller and Potts to slot into 2nd and 3rd place. Both Miller and Potts came in lap 16 together. And look at that, the 2 teammates working hard to stay in podium contention, about a half-second away from each other. Count on those 2 teammates to really work together, stay in each other's draft. And they probably won't be able to catch up to Crouch, who has almost a 10-second advantage, but they may be able to keep Kevin Burrows, the number 80 machine, at bay, as Burrows not that far behind this freight train of teammates running 2nd and 3rd. As Potts in 3rd, the number 40 machine, he knows Burrows about 1.2 off his gearbox. We're going to check back in with Terry Crouch, holding a very commanding 10-second lead. Still clicking off mid to high 1:33, minute 33 second lap times. And just having a fantastic race on a 59 machine. He's figured out if you can survive the opening laps and either the feature or the sprint, you can really focus on hot lapping and keeping that machine out of pit road and more importantly out of the ire of our race officials. And I've got to say, good to be back up in the booth here with League Zero. It was a bit odd having that off week last week after we ran at Circuit Day Spa, commonly known just as Spa. We've got more problems with Asianati. He's pointing the wrong direction, that number 23 machine, and ooh, be mindful in that rejoin. Tries to get it pointing the right direction. As we all watch very carefully to make sure he gets out on track without any woes. He does, to avoid any carnage. Meanwhile, Miller and Potts still linked up nose to tail in second. Your race leader, Terry Crouch, still putting down record-breaking times on 1:33.55. His last time by, that was Crouch's fastest lap of the race, and just keeps getting faster as the run progresses. Looking at live timing, Crouch, his fastest lap was almost a full half second faster than anybody else on the circuit tonight. And let's see, though, if Crouch is going to be able to put down another record lap time. His last time by, that 1 minute 33.5. He keeps getting faster as the run progresses, and right now he's at that happy medium where the tire wear is settling in and the fuel tank's starting to get a little bit lower. He's about 0.3 off the last time by. But look at this as well. Kevin Burrows in 4th place in the number 80 machine, who is up 7 spots from his qualifying. He has gotten down to a second back from Miller and Potts. So he's going to try and pick up the draft from the two teammates and see if he can upset their show just ever so slightly, as there's Andrew Neri finds himself parked in the chicane. Now the question is, will Burrows be able to catch up to the two teammates ranked 2nd and 3rd? Or will he have to settle for a 4th place finish in this feature event? And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, after the feature, we'll have a very quick podium interview session with our top 3, a commercial break, and then roll straight into the sprint race for the evening, which is always spectacular. I don't believe we've seen the iRacing safety car come out yet this season, but every sprint race we run, it gets a little bit more likely we're going to see those flashing lights. Burrows found a little bit of time. He was about a tenth faster than Miller and Potts that last time by, but only 2 short laps to take away that 3/4 of a second advantage. If he can catch that draft from Potts, we may see a final battle for the podium spots shake themselves out. Ooh, 0.6 of a second. How close does Burrows need to be to really utilize that draft? As I don't know about these Formula 3 cars, but from my broadcasting eye, that looks to be just about in range to pick up a tow. It will be tantalizingly close for Potts. Excuse me, Burrows, who's trying to catch up so hard to Potts. So now we're all watching with bated breath. Terry Crouch is on his way to yet another feature win if he can avoid any mistakes both out of himself or traffic. But there's still an opportunity here for Kevin Burrows to work his way up into podium contention behind Miller and Potts, 2 teammates who have been linked up the duration of this. Burrows is going to do everything he can. He's been gaining tenths at a time. He actually showed as about 0.3 faster than the drivers in front of him that last time by, but still a half second back and not a lot of time left to make anything happen with it. Burrows now 0.4 off. With how long it's taken Burrows to catch up, I think he's going to play it safe here, not want to throw anything away and risk his great possible finish. He's up 7 spots from where he qualified. He'll have a great starting place in the feature events to follow, as now the white flag is out for Terry Crouch, as we watch Burrows 0.3 off, 0.4 off of Potts. And somehow Burrows still running almost 0.2 faster per lap. Just needs more laps to try and battle his way up into podium contention. And that's going to be tough with Miller and Potts really working together. I don't know if Burrows is going to be able to, because Potts and Miller are making sure they're linked up and giving themselves the strongest draft possible, leaving Burrows to his own devices in 4th. As our flagman Barney gets ready to unfurl the checkered for Terry Crouch. He's got 1/4 of the circuit left to be there. Oh, look at that. Burrows extending the track limit artificially, and he's actually picked up the safety cone. He has the safety cone inside of his arrow. Gotta wonder how that's going to affect things here, as that cone still hold on for dear life. Burrows is going to get charged by track maintenance for that one. It's still there. So Terry Crouch takes home the win in the feature. James Miller 2nd, Jake Potts gets 3rd. The safety cone gets 4th and ties with Kevin Burrows. But a great race from these drivers. Clean, relatively clean from start to finish. So we're going to try and get our 3 drivers up here into victory lane. As everybody takes a very well-deserved break here. As we wait for those top 3 drivers to make their way up into the waiting room. Still waiting on Terry Crouch, James Miller, Jake Potts. 3rd and final call for podium. We've got Terry Crouch. We're still waiting on the other 2 usual suspects. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the results from that great race. Still waiting on James Mallory, Jake Potts to make their way up into victory lane. There we go. We've got the usual suspects. Up first, we've got Jake, the number 40 machine. Jake, it looked like he saw Kevin Burrows making their way up over the course of that late race run. Were you at all worried that Burrows was going to have something for you guys, or were you content that you and James could work together and bring home the podium as a team?
Yeah, I was real worried about him. I kept seeing him back there, my relative. He kept getting closer, and then finally I pulled away a little bit in the middle, and then at the end, yeah, he came on strong. But yeah, great teamwork there to secure the double podium.
Now, yeah, Jake, I want to say, have you guys ran previously, or is this the first time you guys have had such a dominant performance as a team?
Last week was our first week racing. We did the first race, and then James, he didn't understand the rules completely, so he didn't realize there was a second race that he was still eligible for, so he left early. But I did that second race, and I got some points in that one.
Well, we'll call that a rookie move for the team, but other than that, it looks like tonight make up for it. Looked like you guys kept it very clean. I mean, what's your first impression? You survived the first race, and now, I guess for James, it'll be his first sprint race, your second. What's the plan going into this sprint race?
So we got a lot of work to do to get back up front if we want to get in the podium contention again. So we're just going to hopefully take it clean. I mean, it's a short little sprint, so we'll see what we can do.
Well, Jake, congratulations, man. Good to see you guys up here. Welcome to our large dysfunctional family here at League Zero, and hope to see you guys do well in the near future.
And thank you.
Up next, we've got James. Is it Mallory? Malarkey?
You got it right. It's Moller.
All right, we've been saying it right most tonight. Then, James, good to see you back up here. Your teammate Jake threw you under the bus and informed us all that you dipped out last race before the sprint race. So, I mean, it's good to have you up here on podium. A great run from the team. You guys are newcomers to the league and the online family, and seems like you're getting things dialed in pretty quickly.
Yeah, real exciting stuff. Yeah, that first week I was a little confused. I thought only the top 12 were going reverse grid. I think I need a reading comprehension class because I definitely messed that up. Yeah, we've been racing together for a little over a year, and just happy to find the league. You guys do a great job. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's a great time having you out here. Now, this will be your first sprint race with that top 12 inverted grid. What's the plan? What's the strategy to try and survive and bring home some points for the team?
I think you nailed it on the head. Just try and survive, right? As long as I'm alive, I know I have the pace to make a couple moves at least. Aiming for maybe top 5 here if we can work our way through the field. Other than that, just keep it going. Try to let some of that adrenaline wear off and get back in the zone.
Well, James, welcome up here to the victory lane for the first time this season. Hope to be seeing you and Jake a lot more in the future, and we wish you the best of luck in the sprint race coming up.
All right, Mr. East, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And up next, our old friend Terry Crouch, the number 59 machine. Terry, seems like you're figuring out the survivability a little bit more as the League Zero series runs on.
Yeah, good to talk to you again, James. Feels better, less mistakes in the feature race. Car felt really good, felt fast. Had a problem in qualifying, so The cold tires kind of took everybody by surprise. That was a little chaotic, but after that, it's just settle in and try and break draft.
Now, Terry, as you get more seat time in these Formula 3 machines as well as more experience in the sprint races, have you changed your strategy at all from the past on what it takes to get through the sprint race and try and get back up here in victory lane?
I don't know. I'll tell you in about 30 minutes. I think so, because I think the mindset has to be cautious aggression. I get in the top 10 the last couple weeks, and I'm pushing, trying to win instead of just trying to score points. I need to be a little smarter. So hopefully I do it this week, but we'll see.
And I guess my final question, we've talked about this before, and we've seen the other drivers talk about it. I believe it was at Spa where you guys were going 3 wide, and you kind of made a comment afterwards like, well, I thought you guys were going to back out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but are you getting more used to the other drivers and realizing that they're all willing to send it, or are you kind of playing it by ear depending on who you're around?
It seems like I'm around a different 2 or 3 guys each week, so it's like I build that mental database a little bit of who you can go side by side with, and it seems like they get used to me a little more, and it just comes with seat time, so we'll figure it out.
Well, awesome. Terry, always a great time talking to you. We know you have family tuning in from across the world. Who do you want to give a quick shout out to before we roll straight into the sprint race?
As always, my wife Jill, she's wonderful. My daughter Aurora, my boys at TLDR, Flo. It sucks to see that start. Kevin and Brad, good racing with you guys.
Well, Terry, always a great time talking to you. We wish you the best of luck in the final sprint race here tonight.
Thank you, man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. And that was Terry Crouch bringing home the win in our feature event. We're going to run a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back for the final sprint race of the night here at Barcelona. Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the final sprint race of the evening. And let me tell you, this is going to be exciting. We're going to try and do the world's quickest grid here. Not sure if we're going to get through. It'll be Dustin Oberlo on pole. Barrett Fulmus starting second. Hunter Graves third. Dino Sparapani fourth. Jared Ziegler fifth. Conor Scribner sixth on the grid. Antonio Bianchi starts seventh. Brad Tritton starting eighth. Kevin Burrows ninth on the grid. Jake Pott starting 10th. James Mallory starts 11th. Terry Crouch starting 12th. Then we've got John Kasai 13th. Felipe Garcia 14th. Jeff Murphy starts 15th. Flo Dom 16th. Felipe Ramos starting 17th. Gareth McAllister starts 18th. Levi Opus, but we got to go back to the race as the lights are getting ready to come on. It's Oberlo and Polemis on the front row with the top 12 of that feature event. Reverse grid, and away they go. Do we see smoke in the background? It appears not. We're going to get to at least turn one as they're 3 wide. There's no way this goes well eventually. Somebody, oh boys, holding on to it. Well done. Antonio Bianchi right in the thick of it. He is now running 8th on the circuit, moves up to 7th as he battles with James Malaire. Out front, Dustin Oberlo, Barrett Polemis still battling back and forth as well. We've got great action all over the track as the leaders swapping positions and almost going wheel to wheel there. And now here comes Ziegler, the open wheel pro with number 57 machine. As around goes several of the drivers, we've got carnage. Oberlo's in trouble. What is going on here? A whole lot of drivers tagged in that incident. Let's see what happened to Redinger. You see Redinger starting to check up here. As Carnage in front of him, he gets a little bit of a boot from behind. Chase Small involved in yet another incident. And now it's going to be Jared Ziegler, who's out of retirement, driving for Norman King. He's out front with a comfortable 8/10 margin ahead of Scribner. Graves running third. And let's see what Ziegler, fresh out of retirement, can do. As now Graves trying to take over second place from Conor Scribner. Looks like he's going to make it clear. As Brad Tritton absolutely throws it in as well in fourth. He's in the number 26 machine. So it's Ziegler, Graves, Scribner, Tritton, Bianchi rounding out our top 5. As second through fourth in a nice tidy pack out here. That's going to allow Jared Ziegler to extend his lead. That's what he wants to see in this 12-lap sprint race. Oh, this is going to be good. Again, the top 12. If you're just tuning in, the top 12 of our feature event are inverted for this grid. And that brings up a great point. Where is Terry Crouch? Crouch running at 6th right now after winning the previous feature event. You heard him in his interview. He's realizing let's play it safe, be cautiously aggressive, and to make it through and get the most amount of points you possibly can. As we go back to second place, Conor Scribner, who has given it all she's got. Now again, last week it was Antonio Bianchi and Terry Crouch picking up the wins at Spa. But Ziegler out front wants nothing more to win some points for his good friend Norman King. As he is flying in that number 57 machine as the fill-in driver. Having a great bit of racing here out front. He's got the fastest lap of the race so far. Now Scribner gets some ground over Malaire. And Terry Crouch has worked his way up into fourth. Keep an eye on Crouch. He's getting it figured out and getting the consistency down. And we've got great battles across the track once more. Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian number 25 machine. He's chasing John Kasai. Kasai's busy with Burrows. Oh, and who's that off track? That's Burrows, I believe. Yes, finds himself with a mangled car. And he will take a tow back to pit road. He is done and out. Meanwhile, oh my goodness, the absolute carnage. That looks like it's Sparapani, Aguilar, and Doms all involved. I've never expected to see the big one here, but there it goes. And this will be the replay of the race here, ladies and gentlemen. What on earth happened? As right as we panned, oh, wheel-to-wheel contact, and away she goes. Oh my goodness, hard impact for all three of some very talented drivers. Just like that, that's all it takes here at League Zero to find yourself back in the holler, thinking about what could have been. Oh my. So Aguilar, Sparapani, Doms, and Bianchi have all taken a tow back to pit road. Bianchi's got to be upset as he had picked up a win last week at Spa. And now Crouch being very patient. He's 7/10. No, excuse me, that's James Miller. He's 7/10 off Crouch. Crouch has the fastest lap of the race and worked his way up into third. And now he's going to put his sights on Conor Scribner. Only 7 laps left to do it. As Crouch once again puts down the fastest lap of the race, a 134.2. He got down to the low 133s in the feature event. And now he has the pleasure of a more open track to really pick and wait on those moves. And here we go. Crouch going to put the pressure on Scribner in the battle for second. Meanwhile, James Miller in the number 8 machine staying a relatively close, just about 7/10 back, but Miller's going to have company in the form of Brad Trenton in the number 26 machine. All these drivers trying to get some much needed points. And I'm up here in the booth with some much needed water. Conor Scribner holding on for dear life in second. The more Scribner and Crouch battle, the happier your race leader, Jared Ziegler, will be. As he will know and realize, talking to his spotter and crew chief, that when those two are battling for second, that'll allow him to keep his head down with clean track and try and extend that gap over this battle for second. As we wait for the lap times to update, you can definitely tell Crouch being a little bit more patient here. He does not want to get involved with Scribner, but as we say that, they go side by side into turn one. Crouch going to throw it in deep. Scribner very cautiously yields the spot, not wanting to risk both their races. And now Crouch has worked his way up into second, and Scribner will not get a break as here comes James Miller, the number 8 machine. Now 3/10 off the gearbox of Scribner's number 18. Miller up 7 spots from where he qualified. Scribner up 3 spots. As we watch the heated battle for third, James Miller wants to get back up on podium after the feature race where he did such a fantastic job with his teammate. bringing home those points, trying to get back into it. Late entries here in the League Zero Formula 3 series. As now look at that, Crouch puts down a 133.75 as he's made his way around Scribner and has a little bit more open track. But James Miller trying to put the pressure on Scribner as he knows Brad Trenton in hot pursuit. And, oh, there we go. Around they go. Goes Conor Scribner and James Miller. A little bit of contact. Couldn't quite tell who the aggressor was there. Let's have another look at that one as it looked like it's a tough one to call. I think Scribner. Oh, who's it going to be here? As there also went, I believe that was Trenton. They're dropping like flies, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, just nowhere to go on that one. The number 18 of Scribner gets tagged ever so slightly, and both drivers go around, but Scribner able to get things pointing in the right direction faster. No, excuse me, James Miller gets back out there faster. Scribner may have a little bit of damage, tough to tell. And this is going to shape up interestingly, as now Jared Ziegler, your race leader, sees Crouch in his rearview mirror. Crouch 6/10 off of Ziegler. Ziegler puts down his fastest lap of the race, a 1:34.3. He was 4/10 faster than Crouch that last time by. But Jared Ziegler, the Ohio native, trying his best to hold off. Now he knows he doesn't have to necessarily win tonight, just bring home some much needed points for Mustard Seed Racing. Let's see, 3/10 separating in the battle for the lead. Jared Ziegler, Terry Crouch running nose to tail here, less than 3/10 difference. They've got almost a 7-second margin over third place. So going to be interesting to see what happens here. I would imagine Ziegler will not defend too hard since he is a fill-in driver. And Terry Crouch doesn't want to get involved in an incident either. He needs the point. So these drivers may play it very safe around each other. And here we go, the battle for the lead. Ziegler holds on to the inside line. Crouch tries to be the aggressor. Looks like he may slingshot around here. And yes, Crouch will take over the race lead clean as can be. And Jared Ziegler will slot now into second, but great racing between these two. Now I believe Crouch will be able to put his head down and make dreams happen. Try to go for the back-to-back. The only driver who's been able to do that so far this season was Josh Green, the Indy Pro driver. He did that at Red Bull Ring, winning both the feature and the sprint race. At Monza, his luck was cut short as Small picked up the win at the sprint race. And last week, again, it was Bianchi and Crouch winning both different races at Spa. So Ziegler gonna watch Crouch and see what he can pick up on as Crouch tries to make it back-to-back. He'll be the second driver to do that so far this season. Let's go a little bit further back in the field in the battle for fifth. Jake Potts, who was on the podium in the feature event, he's got Hunter Graves right behind him. These two have went back and forth several times. And same story, I don't think either driver wants to wait too much with battling, and that because that would allow the world famous Australian Gareth McAllister, he's currently running 7th, a chance to catch up. But Graves and Potts still staying with each other here. As we're going to cycle back up front, Jared Ziegler still relatively close in tow behind Crouch. Maybe, and a bit unfairly, we kind of expected Crouch to start pulling away rather quickly, but Jared Ziegler, the part-time driver, fill-in driver to be more apt, he's staying right there with him. And that is truly a testament to itself. Ziegler normally focusing on his oval racing experience here as of late. This will be his second race weekend as a fill-in driver, but having a great job, and now Ziegler puts down his fastest lap of the race, a 133.98, using that toe of Crouch. Just a couple of short laps left to go. And an absolutely astounding run out of Ziegler tonight. I can't say enough great things that he's out here and doing so well. As we look at the gap in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, the distance and time that Crouch is starting to slowly, ever so slowly, pull on Jared Ziegler. Gaining just a few tenths there, a few tenths here, and able to do so rather quickly. But again, I can't brag on Ziegler enough to be able to come out here relatively cold. We had an off week. It's not a series he runs full-time anymore. And to put himself in podium contention, but we've got to interrupt that as Jake Potts pointed the wrong direction. What happened to the previous feature race podium finisher? Looks like he may just throw it in too deep here on the brakes and send it careening around. Thankfully, no other drivers involved and no damage out on Potts, but the white flag has flown for Terry Crouch. He currently holds a 1 second margin over Jared Ziegler and a 6.7 second advantage over James Miller. Jeff Murphy trying to get around Potts. Not sure if Potts is driving wounded here in the battle for 10th. Both drivers trying to get a little bit higher in a points paying position. But while the battle goes on for 10th, Terry Crouch looking great to bring home the back-to-back tonight. And just like that, Terry Crouch makes it 2 in a row here at Barcelona. Jared Ziegler will be absolutely ecstatic in the 57 with a second place, and James Miller will be joining us up in victory lane once more. A fantastic race from these drivers. As we're going to try and get these three up into victory lane. But man, what a great race tonight. These guys kept it very clean and put on one of the best shows we've seen in a while. But again, what a fantastic run from these guys out here today. That was spectacular start to finish. We've got Jared Ziegler. We're waiting on just James Miller at this point to make their way up into victory lane. So still waiting on James Miller. He's on third and final call to get up here to victory lane. There we go. The gang's all here. Joining us first is James Miller, bringing home yet another podium finish. James, things are looking on the up and up for you guys.
Yeah, hey, real happy with that. That was awesome. Felt great.
Now, you survived the sprint race. Was there any strategy early on, or did you look like you're going to be able to get some clean track relatively early and put the head down and start focusing on your marks?
It was just managing the tires and the traffic. There was a lot of guys who were fast enough to be there, and it was dangerous. And unfortunately, with Conor, it looks like a bit of net code. I tossed him in one of the turns with that, but I probably shouldn't have been that deep anyway, so I feel real sorry to him. So shout out to Conor. But yeah, real pleased. Hopefully we can build on that next week.
Now, James, as you start driving the league more, and what to you guys is a relatively newer league to run in, how long does it take you to get acquainted with your competition and learn who you can drive hard with and who you need to leave a little space for?
That'll probably take a while, honestly. There's obviously a very competitive league, a lot of good drivers, a lot of great guys. So there's going to be, kind of a learning curve. I think each week it could be any one of these guys, any 10 of these guys are going to be a few tenths in between. So, it's a big field, great broadcast. So it's going to take some time, but just got to hit your marks, like you said, hit the apex, and keep driving, keep your head down.
Well, James, glad to see you guys getting it figured out. It's good to have you back up here twice in one night, and hopefully you guys can keep developing on and off the track. It's going to be great to see some new teams and new blood out here and start battling for some points. But for the final time tonight, my friend, who would I to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors. The floor is wide open.
Shout out to Lumos. Shout out to everybody in IFL over there. Let's go next week.
Yeah, you've got Weston Epps, a unique name of Crazy Tot, cheering you on to the fans around here in Forest. And James, congratulations again, man. Get back up here in the podium and scoring those points for Lumos.
Right. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. That was James Malaria, newcomer here to League Zero, but getting things figured out very quickly. And now an old-time favorite, the Oval Pro, back in his open wheel roots, Jared Ziegler. Jared, good to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to be on the podium 2 weeks in a row. I mean, who would have thought? But yeah, it's good to be back up here.
Now, Jared, what were the team orders coming in tonight as you were piloting that 57 machine on behalf of Norman King, who is having an extended birthday party, it would appear? But what was the plan from the team on what you were supposed to do tonight?
He's still a little bit hungover, so that's why I'm still here. But I mean, we didn't have a plan. I had a last-minute plane ticket to go to Barcelona. I had it like I don't know, 15 minutes before practice started. So we didn't really have any plans. I just kind of came out and said, well, uh, Barcelona, I have a love-hate relationship with. This first season, I don't think I finished a single race here, first of all, in the last 2 seasons. But I'm fast here. Clearly, you can tell now. But yeah, there's not really any team orders. Just go out, have fun, and enjoy yourself. And that's exactly what I did, especially in the sprint race there.
Well, Jared, it looked like a lot of fun. You guys were running very clean, knowing when to give, when to take, and when just to fall in line and not crash the team car. So well done to you, as well as all the guys at Mustard Seed Racing. Who would you like to give a shout-out to that's cheering you on when you do get out on track in these Formula 3 machines?
I actually had my sponsors this time around. I didn't forget them. So we got Racers Christ. Again, it's Norman's personal sponsor, but I mean, if I'm filling in for him, they sponsored the car and they paid for money, so they're gonna get sponsorship. They do a great job of charity over there. And then Mustard Seed Racing for letting me hop into the car. Antonio and his team for running the league. You for broadcasting it, and just all the drivers. So it was a really fun race. Racing. Terry and I had a pretty good race there at the end. Clean, didn't wreck each other clearly. So, and then in the sprint race or feature race, I had a few wheel-to-wheel battles, especially early on, and didn't have any issues with any guys there. So, just thanks to everyone for having a good show, putting on a good show, and hopefully I'll be able to have a little bit more screen time this week, leading half a laps in the sprint race. That's a first.
Well done. Yeah, you definitely did, Jared. Always a great time talking to you, man. I know you've got a lot of busy schedule, different stuff going on, but every time we see you on track, it's always a pleasure, and good to see you back.
Thank you. You have a good one.
You as well, my friend. That was Jared Ziegler bringing home the number 2 spot, but now the man of the hour, Terry Crouch, with a coveted back-to-back. Has only been done once so far this season. Terry, how does it feel, my friend? It seemed like our pre-race pep talk paid off.
You know, it really did, because there's a couple of times where I thought about the lunge and just reminded myself, be smart, be smart, be smart, let it come to you. And those guys raced really well. It was really fun coming through there. Good time. Can't complain.
Yeah, we could see it up here in the booth. I think the fans as well could see it. Really took your time to pick some of those passes. Seemed like you were kind of hovering around that 6th, 5th place spot. Then all of a sudden we panned back and you're moving all the way up to 3rd. So it looked like it went really well. Now, was there a favorite spot on the track you wanted to try and make those moves, or was it just as the opportunity presented itself?
I seem to be a lot better going into 1, and 1 is pretty much the whole track. If you get that right, and then coming out of 2, you're just flat all the way back. And if you get that line right, you can get guys on that first straight or 1. One of those two. After that, it's just kind of following.
Well, very well done. Good to see you to pick up the back-to-back tonight and score some massive points going into the season. Looking forward to seeing how the points update following this one. Terry, you have the distinct privilege and luxury, my friend. You have the final shout-outs of the night. Who would you like to give a word to that's cheering you on?
Oh, man. As always, my wife, my daughter Aurora, friends at TLDR and the Sim Pit. And you know what? This league is amazing. So shout out to League Zero. It's been an amazing time. And it's such a fun broadcast. I watch it back like a little schoolgirl.
Well, thank you, Terry. You're our favorite old school girl we have out on track. Always a great time talking to you, buddy. It's great to see you perform well and get things dialed in. Terry, have a great night, man, and congratulations again on a well-earned win.
Appreciate you. Always a good time.
That was Terry Crouch bringing home the win, back-to-back, the feature winner, as well as the sprint winner. Now ignore where it says feature results. That is a limitation of iRacing. That was for the sprint results, where Terry Crouch makes it back-to-back. Jared Ziegler, the part-time driver, gets back into victory lane, and James Malaire comes home 3rd in that number 8 machine. As always, my friends, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much for tuning in from across the world. We got fans from Brazil. We got friends from Europe, just all over the place. Canada, United States represented tonight via the fans as well as the drivers. Thank you all so much for spending your Thursday evening with us. We couldn't do it without you. On behalf of League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much. We will see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.